Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to another Howell Wildlife Photography photo stream. Thank you everybody for joining us. I'm your host Bongo, and I'm one of the organizers of the Howell Wildlife Photography Convention. We're very happy to have you here. Of course, Howell will be happening this year, November 3rd, 4th, and 5th is when it's happening. And just to remind you who we have here at our convention, of course, the superstar Johnny Marriott will be speaking. That's Johnny Marriott right over there. We've got Sam Stevens, Jillian A. Brown, Christine Lukasavich, and Bear with us as well. So we have three exceptional photographers. We have an Indigenous educator as well to open our minds with regards to the ethics of what we should be thinking about when we're outside in the field from an Indigenous lens perspective. And then Bear with us is a black bear sanctuary located in Ontario, which does very, very important work helping conserve the black bears here in our lovely province of Ontario. So like I said, November 3rd, 4th, and 5th, tickets are still available. You can visit our website at howlphotocon.com. I see Steve is here. Steve, I wasn't sure if you'd be able to make it right in time.
Just in time, yeah.
Just in time. I see Richard Mann is out there as well. Hello, Richard. Awesome to have you there, out there as well. And for the first time ever, we have Joe here. Joe, are you out there?
Yes, I am.
Oh, there's Joe right there. Joe, we haven't had you present before. I don't know if you wanted to just introduce yourself a little bit to the audience.
I'm Joe Hoagie. I basically do some amateur photography. You know, like I like to learn from all you guys. You know, like I enjoy learning, and I basically been following most of you guys for a long period of time already, and that's basically me.
That's great. Well, hey, you know what? I commend you for stepping up and agreeing to present today. It takes a lot of courage to do something like this. So honestly, good for you. And we're just very excited to hear some stories about some of your amazing fall colors photography. Steve is also watching out there. Hello, Steve. And of course, there's Richard out there as well. So without further ado, let's hear from Joe here. Joe, I've got your first photo here that you've sent us. Let's just jump right into it here. So can you tell us a little bit about this one?
Okay, this picture was taken on Crane Lake. It's towards going towards Georgian Bay. You know, it's basically a swamp area, but if you can see the fall colors there, it looks, amazing. And, this happens basically later than Algonquin Park. Like Perry Sound always is behind Algonquin Park. So when most people are finished with the Algonquin Park, the Perry Sound area starts getting into the peak.
Yeah.
And, I love going in those back roads, the very narrow roads. You have to watch out when you're parking, but, I basically enjoy taking pictures and sharing with people. I'm very active on social media, and I have, people in the Netherlands and all over the world, actually, from Dutch people, because I belong to a group that is people from all over the world, Dutch people from all over the world. They have emigrated, and they enjoy my pictures, so I share the area quite a bit.
Amazing. Yeah. And, you were talking about driving down these tiny little roads. That's one of the most exciting things about being a wildlife photographer, right? Just that exploration. Yeah. And I see that Cowboy with the Camera has also joined us as well. Hello, Wes. Thanks for joining us here tonight.
Hello, Wes.
It sounds like you know Wes as well, Joe.
I follow him on the Facebook pages.
Yeah. Yeah, and Wes presented at Howell in the very first one in 2019. So we've got a Howell alumnus here with us. And just one comment about this. So we're looking at an overcast day in this photograph here, right, Joe?
Yeah, I was just driving, and the clouds are sometimes. So I was just driving, and the clouds are sometimes very hard to capture. So
Yeah.
I think I used a special lens to capture the clouds, like it was an ND filter, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I don't remember 100%. It's a couple of years ago now.
Yeah. And for all the photographers out there, when you're here's a question for all of you. When you're shooting fall colors, what is your most ideal quality of sky? Do you like overcast, or do you like blue, mix of sun and cloud? What's everybody, or do you take whatever you can get? Joe, how about you?
I like overcast.
Yeah.
I find the colors will spring, like basically come out more than on a sunny sky.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's funny. Like, some people get down about overcast, but overcast is great. Yeah. And how about you, Steve?
Yeah, I would say like overcast, or at least partially overcast skies, and it's not. They really, colors will really pop if it's just rained, or early morning if there's a lot of mist and the dews on the leaves, and then they get the colors get very saturated.
Yeah.
With when they're wet.
Exactly. Yeah. A couple people chiming in here on the comments. Cowboy with the Camera says, I love overcast and using a polar filter in the fall. Richard says, I'll take what I can get, but I love after a rain with a polarizer. So polar filter for the win. Awesome. Okay, we'll go to the next photo here. So Joe, we've got, that looks like a moose. Oh, there's two moose over there. Tell me a little bit more about this photo, please.
This is on Forestry Road by South River. That's near our camp that I used to work at. And, the moose used to come out, like this is around hunting season.
Mm-hmm.
The area where I took this picture is actually a no hunting zone. But maybe 2 kilometers south, that's where the hunting zone used to start. I'm not a big, favor of hunting, but each their own, I guess. And we saw quite a bit of moose in this area all the time, and you can see there was some logging has been happening there. And I came along and I saw this. First, I saw the big cow standing, and you'll see the picture later.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw the 2 calves coming behind it, and I also, and I was, very far away from them. I lie down behind a little hilly thing. I was just taking pictures, and they didn't were bothered at all, me being there. So I enjoyed it very much. And they were there for a couple of days in a row, so I had quite a few encounters with them to take pictures of them.
Wow. Yeah. What a moment right there. And so is that snow or frost on the on
There
the
might have been a little bit snow already.
Yeah.
Like I don't 100% remember now.
Yeah, very cool, very cool. And you can see a little bit of color there and behind behind the second moose on the right. Very cool.
Like, like behind the scene, there is what we call Moose Mountain. You can climb onto Moose Mountain and you can see, look all over Algonquin Park, because we're so close to Algonquin Park there,
Very cool. Very cool. What a special moment.
Yeah.
Awesome. Oh, wow. Okay, so the next one here, that's a really narrow road. Is this also in the south?
This is my driveway at home.
This is the drive to get home. Wow.
Oh, this is where I live. This is my driveway at home, and we live right on the trail to trail, park to park trail from Kildare to Algonquin Park.
Wow.
So like it's a big snowmobile trail. Like if you go left on the side there, that's the road to the trail, and then the other road is, the main road where we get onto. But this is our driveway where we live right now.
Wow.
And that's in Seguin. Like we've been living in the Seguin area since 87. So like, it's been a long time.
Wow. Very cool.
And like I said, the colors start in this area a little bit later than Algonquin Park,
Yeah, and it's so funny. Thank you for mentioning that, because a lot of times the colors will begin changing, let's say in Toronto, and then people think, oh, I'll go to Algonquin Park, and then they get to Algonquin Park and all the leaves are gone, right? So like it's important to understand, like even in one province, the color change is going to happen at different times, right?
Yeah. Because we are so close. We are so close to Georgian Bay.
Uh-huh.
And that keeps the the climate a little bit warmer than Algonquin.
Right. Isn't that interesting? Yeah. And Cowboy with the Camera, I think, is living near Deep River nowadays. Cowboy with the Camera. When do your fall colors begin to change? And one more question for Joe here about this photo. How do you plow your driveway? Do you have a snow plow or a snow blower?
I have somebody come in because it's way too long.
Of course.
That is at least $800 I don't mind paying. Because,
yes. Sometimes
I would be out there fighting with the snow and also having a plowed, having to deal with equipment issues. $800 I pay gladly in the fall.
Yeah, I completely agree. Sometimes it's good to contract some of that stuff. Whenever I look at a beautiful long driveway, that's always one of the first things I think about is how do you plow that?
This is halfway up the driveway.
Oh, so it's not even the whole thing. Yeah. Ooh, Cowboy is chiming in here. Cowboy, Kenny's here as well. Welcome, Kenny. Cowboy says, yes, the colors up along James Bay were near peak, and near me is changing slow. I would say peak is near or just after the Highlands in Algonquin. Yeah. Kenny, are your colors changing right now? Or maybe not. We were just trying to figure out when everybody's colors are changing. So now this picture here that we're looking at, and my last question about this picture, Joe, is a lot of the leaves have fallen here, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
This was a very rainy day.
Aha.
And, basically I thought it was, I just wanted to take a picture years ago, like just to, show people that the colors were basically starting to be finished because the rain had knocked down quite a bit of the leaves already.
Yeah. Very cool. Well, what a beautiful driveway you have. Oh, great. Okay, let's move on to the next one here. Ooh, this is another late fall photo. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm looking at frost, right?
Yeah. This is in the South River area.
Yeah.
And basically there was some snow and also frost.
Yeah.
And I basically like the tamaracks, in this time period.
Yes.
They stand out quite a bit. And a lot of my pictures, like when people artists start asking me, Joe, can I paint this? So I always give them permission, I basically said, like just give me, the finished product, like me see the finished product, and you can use whatever you want. Like, like I just like to see the finished product when people have painted something, and but I have quite a few artists have asked me, can I paint pictures? So like, and that's when I started getting into art myself a little bit. Like, I did some painting, but then I started getting into digital creations, and I like the digital creations much better because it keeps me doing stuff. So
Yeah.
I use mostly my pictures as a base, and then I start creating stuff.
Very cool. Kenny is saying, here in Baysville, it is changing very fast. Steve and I took a quick drive on Highway 60 today together, and they are really beginning to glow and to pop. Kenny also says, love this photo. I do too. I love that contrast. Tamaracks are probably the most underrated tree of all time because their colors pop at the end when everybody else is done, and they just steal the stage, right? Yeah, just seeing those yellow tamaracks amongst all that white frost, that's just lovely. Awesome. All right, let's go on to the next one here. Okay, now is this from the same lake here?
It might have been another lake.
Yeah.
There is so many small lakes in the South River, Trout Creek area.
Yeah.
On the west side of Perry Sound. Like, they're not in the park, but they're very close to the park. So I used to drive around and just find, places where I saw a photo opportunity. Like, most of them are dirt roads, and I had a lot of time on my hands. Like when I was over there, and I basically was finished at 5:30, and then I used to go onto sunset. Try to get some color pictures in, or animal pictures, and then I tried to shoot the sunset. So like that's basically what I did 4 days a week.
Yeah. Oh, just great. Very cool.
I used to work at the camp for young offenders. So we basically I stayed in camp for 4 nights a week, and just to get out of camp to see the beauty of the province. That's what I did. Yeah,
I mean, if you're there already, you might as well. Yeah. Yeah. The Golden Encore says, Richard, yes, Cowboy with the Camera says beautiful as well. And I agree. Love how you framed it too, with all the twigs in the foreground as well.
Oh, that's what I try to do. Again, I'm still learning, but I try to listen to all you guys saying how you present your pictures, and I try to incorporate it into my shooting. So
I love that.
I thank you all.
Ah, look at that. It's the warm, fuzzy feelings. Yeah, thank you, everybody. Because, even Richard has presented here before. Cowboy with the Camera has presented. Kenny's presented here before, too. So
Mitchell Brown has done,
Yep, exactly. So, no, it's great. And that's what's wonderful about the community, right? Yep. Beautiful. All right. Ooh, okay. So I'm looking at this photo. This photo is really cool because it's like you went for the water and you were going for the reflection, right? Here?
That is Susan speaking to me.
Ah, Susan Oling, right?
Susan always told me if I posted a picture, like, look at the water, and that's basically a tip that I took over from her, and and this is why I put this picture up, just to show that I'm do listen to you guys, when you present something, it's like this is on McDougall Road, and it's Haynes Lake on thing, and I just stopped there and I saw this, the color on the facade of the trees is beautiful too, but I just saw the water here and I just wanted to take a picture of it.
Yeah. It really, what you've captured is a really neat gradient, because if you look way to the left of the photo, it's a little bit green, and then it goes a little bit yellow golden, then orange red, and then it hits this blue shade as well. So it's just like a really cool gradient happening.
Mm-hmm.
Really cool. And the other really neat thing about it is, you know, obviously most people will focus on the trees and the leaves themselves, but I like how you said, no, I'm going to focus on something different here. I'm going to look at the reflection in the water.
Yeah, and the wood sticking out of the water, like, you know, like.
Yeah, like that tree is like in the water, basically. It's amazing how it's still alive. Cowboy with the Camera says, exactly, Richard. Never-ending learning, and the photography community is filled with such wonderful people, always willing to help each other. That's what we're all about, and that's what we love. Awesome. Okay, let's go on to the next one here. Okay. So you did give us a hint that there might be another moose photo coming up. Tell us a little bit more about this one.
That is Mama Moose.
Yeah.
And she was around for, 3 days. Like, I have some really neat close-ups. Like, some of the pictures I took, like, it looks like I'm almost laying underneath her, but I'm very far away from her and never put her into any, uncomfortable position. But it was just with the zoom on the camera, you can do a lot of things. Like, this is not the biggest close-up that I have, but I picked this one because of the four colors showing in the background.
Yeah.
And then the same area, like, she had the two calves with her.
Wow.
I have a couple of pictures where she's all lined up, like she's standing in front and the two moose the calves are in the background. And then I think one of them is eating a leaf, like in the mouth. So, I was observing them for quite a long time and taking pictures, obviously. But it's nice to see them. Like, even tonight, like, I looked out of my bedroom window and there's a deer in the yard. So I was taking pictures today, just to, basically take them from inside the house so I don't disturb them.
I love that. How cool is that? You can do wildlife viewing from inside your house.
Like the other day, I was doing dishes and there was a bull moose walking into the right in front of me. So I was able to get a good picture of her staring at me.
Wow.
And she took off and jumped over the fence. So.
Wow. And you know what's funny is people will travel hundreds of miles, thousands of miles to come here to look at wildlife, and here you are doing your dishes and just seeing a bull moose.
We have basically seen a lot of animals here. Like, one year in the winter, we had a bobcat coming for 3 days.
Wow.
That was neat. Like, I was in camp, but my daughter took some pictures of the bobcat.
Wow, that's so cool.
It was around for about three years in the winter time, and I think it was because of the winter. It was quite hungry, and it came around because we do feed the birds, and around the bird feeder the squirrels were hanging around, and I think it was there to catch the squirrels. So but it was neat to see it around for 3 days.
Wow.
When it started moving into the garage, my wife said, "That's enough."
Yeah. Anybody else out there has anybody else out there seen wildlife in their backyard? And I'm not talking about chipmunks and squirrels. I'm talking about bigger mammals and or owls or anything like that, because a bull moose and a bobcat, that's huge. Wow. Very cool. All right. Here's another photo. Okay, a little bit of a blue sky here and some colors in the background there. Is this also the South River area?
No, this is on the old Nipissing Road.
Cool.
It's between Highway 518 and the 124.
Mm-hmm.
It's a colonization road. It's basically a dirt road. But I love going there, and you find a lot of animals on the road, and but you see some nice water places. You can see the wood ducks and all that stuff there. So this is between Siegen Falls and that's Magnetawan.
Yeah. Magnetawan. Yeah. Very cool.
It's just a dirt road, but it's the Nipissing Road. We call it the Nipissing Road. So it's a beautiful drive.
Yeah. Very lucky to live in such a beautiful area, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like exploring. Like, I like to get off the main roads and see what's around.
Yeah. Okay, just a few comments right here. So, Cowboy with the camera, finishing up some things before winter at home. Richard has seen an ermine in the backyard. And an ermine, of course, I only learned what is it an ermine or ermine? I'm not sure, but it's kind of like a mink or a weasel, as I understand.
White in the winter time.
I've seen it white. I have seen it white, and it was the only time I saw an ermine. I was actually at a hunt camp, and the snow hadn't fallen yet, but it was this white weasel running around, and I'd never seen anything like that before. It was really, really eye-popping. It was so cool. Kenny has saw a deer just the other day in the backyard, and Cowboy with the camera says, seeing wildlife in your own backyard is such a blessing. I've been lucky to see some wildlife on my property. Sadly, my photo camera seems to miss them, but my eyes and trail cams capture them. Love your photo of the ermine. Just a little jealous. Oh, this must be a good photo that Richard has. Yeah. And all right. And really cool clouds too in this photo here as well, Joe. Very cool.
Yeah, I'm not always happy with the sky that when I'm photographing. It seems to wash out for me quite a bit, but I try my best. I'm still learning a lot.
That's right.
Equipment is very basic. I think I might have shot this with an J1 camera, a long time ago. But,
yeah. Well, that's it. The most important thing is we're always trying our best and that we're always learning.
Yep.
Okay. Ooh, a railroad here with some beautiful reds popping as well.
It's in the Perry Sound area. This is probably the main CN rail.
Yeah.
And I have some pictures, with the railroad going around the corner, and then I start getting artistic and I put a light, right in the thing, but I didn't want to show that one right now. But I like doing artistic things with my pictures. Once you're taking the pictures, I like to do something with it. I'm always trying to, change them. My life basically, goes around my photography. On my iPad or on my computer, I use different apps and programs to, change things around. And I enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's not everybody's cup of tea, but it's mine.
Yeah. It's your happy place, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Very cool. And this train track is active, right?
Yeah.
It is active.
We have actually two main railroads. We have two stations in Perry Sound, a CN and a CP station. My son was just here from Winnipeg, and he arrives in one station, and then he has to go to the other station to leave again.
Isn't that interesting?
And it's very, we have a busy railroad, thing going through Perry Sound.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you have seen my Instagram, the Northern Lights over this CP bridge. Look it up in my Instagram thing. I was there shooting the Northern Lights, and the CP bridge in the background. It was quite thing. And people actually started asking me, can we buy this? And I sold quite a few of them.
Wow, good for you.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. And I should also mention, check out Joe's Instagram. It's EJ Rogie, spelled ROGGE for Joe's Instagram. So definitely check and follow Joe on Instagram. Super. Yeah, and you know what's so funny? I was just going to say you should probably try and sell that photo to the railway company, but it sounds like you've already done that.
Like some of the non-profit organizations in Paris Sound have asked me if they could use it, and
That's
I just
nice.
let them use it. But for the rest, like I'm not there to really try to promote myself. Like
Yeah.
I love taking pictures, and if people ask me, can we buy it? I will sell them to you.
Yeah, yeah. You don't lose the love, right? Keep the love
That's
in
right.
it. Yeah, yeah. Just a few comments here. Richard says, lucked out having my camera just inside the door. It's always important to have your camera in the passenger seat or just outside your door. Kenny has the trail cam ready to get wildlife on my property anytime. And Cowboy says, awesome, Joe. Great stuff. Oh, all right, all right. So this is a lake scene here.
That is Round Lake.
This is Round Lake.
Yep, that's entrance into Bongo Park.
North T Lake, right?
I'm not sure if it's Camomok Lake.
Kawawimok. Yep, yep,
Yeah.
yep.
So like that's gets you into T Lake.
Gotcha. Yep.
Like
Yep.
our students used to set off in here canoeing into Algonquin Park most of the time. Like in the area where I'm here, I have camped there myself. Like it's just a little area, where you can, put up your tent and, just take some pictures.
Nice.
Round Lake is a very quiet, beautiful lake.
Yeah. I have camped on North T. It's a wonderful place, and I love the Amable du Fond River.
Yeah.
That river is so fun to paddle. One of my most favorite memories is it just winds and winds and winds. It's so fun to paddle.
Yeah. I have only accesses from kiosk.
Oh yeah. Okay. I've also been to Kiosk too. That's another beautiful place.
Yeah.
Awesome. Ooh. All right. I have some nice oranges and reds back there. Is this also Kawawemog or somewhere else?
No, this is Forest Lake by South River. This
Nice.
is the causeway into camp. You drive over the causeway into Chemical Road.
Nice.
And then you go into Round Lake or Forestry Road where the camp was.
Very cool.
And like this is I took quite a bit of pictures here at nighttime also for Northern Lights and stuff like that. So also Tom Thompson Park is there, so I spend a lot of time at the park taking sunset pictures.
Yeah.
Like one picture that I took there, the town of South River put on the street banners. It's just a sunset picture with father and daughter fishing off the pier.
Nice.
And South River asked me if they could use it for their banner for the street. So I was quite happy with that.
That's amazing. Your photographs are everywhere, it sounds like.
I'm very active on social media.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's good. That's good. That's great. Awesome. Oh, wow. Yeah, I love that. That majestic Canadian Shield rock right there.
That is in the South River Dam.
Ah, okay.
This is a place I drove by probably about 8-9 years before I actually found that it was there. And I just took the four colors here, but the dam is quite impressive. The water going over to that dam is quite impressive in the springtime and high water time.
Yeah.
And I've spent a lot of time, there relaxing and just enjoying nature,
Nice.
Like the people were very upset when they put the dam in, but it's still a beautiful place.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I still find the beauty in it, right? Yeah.
Like this area, I have one picture that actually artist asked me if he could paint it too, and he did. And also another picture similar to this, but more water was featured on TV.
Mm-hmm.
Was basically the picture of the week for one of the TV's people. people. So I'm happy that people recognize sometimes what I'm doing. Not all my pictures are the best, but people seem to enjoy them.
And that's the most important part, right?
That's right.
Yep. Yeah, and I love that contrast of your colors here with that gray-blue rocks on the bottom half of the photo.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Like the South River Dam is actually a place people should visit,
Yeah. And I like how you said what you had been going by here for 8 years and you didn't know it was there. That's the other thing that I love about this hobby is you haven't seen everything, no matter if you think you have, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
No, people just kept talking about South River Dam, and so one day I asked, "How do you get there?" And one lady friend, said, "This is where you go," and I've been going there since.
Discovering new places, that's the best. Awesome. And I think that's your final photo in your presentation today. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Joe, for your slideshow here. This is it was amazing. I mean, I've met you through email before, but this is the first time I've spoken to you by video call. So thank you again for stepping up and being courageous in doing this presentation.
No problem.
Awesome. All right. And so, yes, for all of you out there, if you don't follow Joe Rogie yet on Instagram, it's EJ Rogie at Instagram. So definitely follow and check Joe out. And, the last thing I want to ask you is the shirt that you're wearing. Can you just talk a little bit about the shirt that you're wearing and the logo on it?
I'm volunteering at Aspen Valley Wildlife Sanctuary 2 days a week, and I love it. I also create some artwork for them. One picture is my own from one of the animals there because they only want to use the picture, the forever animals that they have there. And then Jesse Vilmer, allowed me to use some of his pictures for the other animals that they wanted to canvases for, and they sell them in the gift shop for fundraising.
Yeah,
that's basically what I'm doing there.
That's so cool.
I work there. I work at the sanctuary 2 days a week.
That's so cool. The Aspen Valley Wildlife Sanctuary. And yeah, I just want to commend you, Joe, and everybody else who supports wildlife sanctuaries. We are having Bear With Us present at Howell. Yep. So if you attend Howell, you are indirectly also supporting the Bear With Us Wildlife Sanctuary. So thank you to all the volunteers out there that are helping conservation and wild animals across Ontario. And we've got Cowboy with the Camera saying, thank you, Joe. So many great photos. Richard says thank you. And Kenny says thank you as well. So, and thank you again. Thank you again. Okay. And so next up we have Steve. Steve, are you still out there?
I'm here.
All right. Steve's out here. Perfect. Let's have a look at. So I asked Steve to send me a few fall color photos and I got them and we're going to look at them right now. So I'm not sure what the order is going to be as they appear, but this is the first one that popped up right here. So let's just jump right into it, Steve.
That one's actually not in the park, but along between Whitney and Bancroft, there's some really nice spots to get some colors. And although I live right here beside Algonquin Park, it's a time period where I'm really busy, so I really don't have a lot of opportunities to get out and get photos. So this is probably one of the ones I took when I was going on my shopping one of my shopping trips to Bancroft, and it looked amazing. So I stopped and did a few shots. I actually might go out tomorrow morning because it's going to be overcast and the colors are really starting to get brighter. I think this weekend probably will be the peak of the colors in some areas of the park anyway.
Yeah, that's right. Did everybody hear that? Peak colors coming up in Algonquin Park. And then a whole bunch of people are sending some comments in here. Kenny says, hello, Steve. Cowboy with the Camera says, that's a fake.
They're all fake.
Kenny says, laugh out loud. But Cowboy also says, love it, Steve. Kenny says, I see a beaver in the water.
Yeah, it probably could be a beaver in there. It's right beside a beaver lodge where this shot was.
Yeah, this is a little bit of Where's Waldo happening here. Yeah, nice. Yeah, very cool. Just so vibrant here. But you're right. And, even doing your errands, having to drive to Bancroft, you pretty much have your camera in the passenger seat every time, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you never know what you're going to come across.
Yep.
So always have my camera with me.
There you go. Kenny and Cowboy are saying inside jokes. All right.
Yep.
So we got some inside jokes here. All right. Oh, right. So this one here, where is this one in Algonquin Park or elsewhere?
Yeah, I think a few people might know where that is, and it's there. So there's lots of places where the colors are really vivid and just on fire. The whole hill, and then there's other places where it's mostly coniferous trees where you just get these little spots of color, and I kind of like that, like where there's little individual trees that you can pick out that are really vivid.
Yeah, I like that a lot too. Yeah. Kilometer 22, kilometer 21, kilometer 21 and a half. This is where that pull off is, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I know it too. Yeah.
Good for good place to shoot Northern Lights too.
I have one photo in my portfolio that has decent Northern Lights, and it might be in this spot too. Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. Oh, wow. Just golden. This next one here. Nearly psychedelic with that incredible, it's like fire in the water here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always neat to get reflections and like with the fall colors.
Yeah.
Anything, but yeah, this is of course after Thanksgiving. And when I have more time to get out, and I usually get more pictures of the golden encore than I do of the peak colors, but that's okay. I like that time of year.
Less people around too, right?
Yeah.
So lots of benefits to the golden encore season for sure. Yeah, I love this, the extreme yellow contrasted with that deep green of the coniferous here. Really cool. Wow. Just so psychedelic. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, and this one is just luscious with color.
Yeah, that's I think Brewer Lake actually at the north end.
Yeah.
And I think this was just before the peak. This was actually from last year.
Yeah.
Took this shot.
Wow.
And again, it's kind of neat, reflections, especially when you can get the almost perfect reflections. Sometimes better than this, but it's really neat.
Yeah.
The designs and stuff in it.
Yeah, it's like designs that only nature can make when you have that reflection in the water. Like even here, definitely. It almost looks like nature just like took a brush and just blurred it, right? It's so cool. And Brewer Lake, there's a stop off at Brewer Lake, and it's a really nice lake. You can catch a pretty good sunset there too as well.
Yep.
Very cool. Oh, yeah. All right. I think most people that have been to Algonquin probably know where this amazing scene is from.
Yep. So it actually is a fall picture, but it just isn't a lot of vivid color along here, but little touches of yellow and stuff. I just kind of like the...
Yeah, like you said, just like the little accents amongst all the conifers, right?
Yep, something different instead of all the bright reds.
Yeah. And now, when you took this photo, are you down on the rock here?
Yeah, I'm cool. Down on the rock. I climbed onto the rock just where the bridge is there. Cool. Yeah. And I think this one is actually a panel. I think it's not a single shot, I think.
Oh, neat.
Sure it's like maybe three shots stitched together.
Yeah.
I think so.
Cool. Yeah, most people don't get this perspective because they just take it from the bridge, right? But I really like the lower perspective here. Very cool. I've seen this photo before. Mm-hmm. This is a nice one.
Yeah. again, no reds, but definitely a fall photo. And the mist, of course, which we've had for probably 2 weeks every morning now, misty mornings because of the cold nights that we're getting. So
it almost looks like the moose's beard is a little frosty as well.
Yeah,
just awesome.
It's neat. I like the fern, the different textures and colors of the ferns and the dead grasses and stuff too. It's really neat. It's not that vivid oranges and reds, but it has its own uniqueness.
Oh, absolutely. And now, when this moose, did it just walk past you? What happened in this scene?
It just basically walked right past me. A friend of mine was sort of a little further to the left of it, and I think it might have walked right in between us. I can't remember, but and we were sort of like hunched down, just taking shots and quiet, and it was the beginning of the rut, so it was more interested in. It's an older moose, but he was more interested in looking for females than bothering us.
That's okay. We don't want to mess with the moose in the rut, right? Yeah. Just amazing, and just the glow here is really otherworldly. Very cool. Oh, all right. Where was this one taken?
That's again probably on one of my trips to Bancroft. That's actually Robinson Lake.
Ah, okay.
And,
yeah.
And again, like it's got like the color, a little bit of color in the background.
Yeah.
My wide angle lens, and then I liked at the right hand side the really vivid red there.
Yeah. Just popping in the corner.
Yeah.
Very great. And I think that might be. I think that was the grand finale photo right there. That was the grand finale.
It's although I live in a place where there's amazing colors. We're so busy here. Sometimes it's hard to get time and to get out. But I'm definitely gonna go out tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. And definitely, post some photos up. And I just wanted to mention as well, you can check out more of Steve's photos at Impression Algonquin Gallery. And that is your Instagram and your Facebook, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. Awesome. And of course, there's more photos by Steve Dunsford at the Mad Musher restaurant here in Whitney, Ontario.
All right.
Super. So that pretty much concludes our Fall Colors presentation today. And we thank everybody out there for tuning in and watching us. I know a few of you are signed up for Howl, which we're super excited about. I was just emailing Johnny Marriott this week, just coordinating flights and car rentals and that kind of stuff. So the speakers are all super excited to be here early November 3, 4, and 5. And Steve is going to start creating the menu as well for all the amazing food that we're going to be eating as well. Because, of course, the speakers are great, but the food is equally as good, right?
Yeah, we've got some great ideas. And I know Josh will come up with some really neat food for this Howl. I'm looking forward to. I'm excited and looking forward to what he's got to offer us.
100%. Cowboy says, thank you again, Steve. I'll stop by the Mad Musher again soon.
Hey.
And Cowboy says it's a howling good time. Richard also says thank you, and I'll stop by there as well. And Kenny also says, yeah. Oh, and thank you, Joe, as well. Thank you, Joe. First-time presenter. Totally nailed it. Just hit a home run tonight with the presentation on the fall colors. So... And Richard is signed up. That's right. Richard says, can't wait. And Richard, I can't wait to be reunited with you as well. It's going to be an amazing weekend. Tickets still available, howlphotocon.com. And if you can't make it in person, we are having a virtual component as well. Joe is actually signed up for the virtual Howl. So Joe will be enjoying all of those presentations virtually.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right, everybody. Well, we're going to wind down our stream here. Thank you again for visiting. And if you have any other questions, just contact us at howlphotocon@gmail.com. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you next time.